Despite recent diplomatic altercations, Russia's foreign and defense ministers arrived in Washington, D.C. today to meet with their American counterparts, Secretary of State John Kerry and Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. RT correspondent Gayane Chichakyan is now in our newsroom with more. So, Gayane, these seem to be the highest level meetings we've seen since Russia granted Edward Snowden temporary asylum. How did they go?
Well, Erin, remember, this meeting between Russian and U.S. officials at the State Department comes days after President Obama canceled the bilateral summit with the Russian president in September. More and more often we hear about a new Cold War between Moscow and Washington. So everyone was listening very closely to what officials on both sides were saying. And we heard two different messages coming from President Obama and Foreign Minister Lavrov, both holding a news conference at the same time, separately, of course. Here's Foreign Minister Lavrov responding to a question about a new Cold War and Edward Snowden.
I remember very well what he said when we were saying goodbye. He said, well, I believe that we can make a difference in the Russian-American relations. Let's act as adults. And that's what we are trying to do. Because if small incidents become an impediment to everything else, I think it would be a very wrong politics and very wrong policy.
President Obama, in the meantime, did the opposite. He has basically hyped up the Cold War talk. Take a listen.
When President Putin, who was prime minister when Medvedev was president, came back into power, I think we saw more rhetoric on the Russian side that was anti-American, that played into some of the old stereotypes about the Cold War contest between the United States and Russia. And I've encouraged Mr. Putin to think forward as opposed to backwards on those issues, with mixed success.
President Obama also said, in light of all the disagreements with Russia, it's time to make a pause and, quote, recalibrate, leaving everyone wondering what that means. The tone of the talks at the State Department, at least the opening part that we have seen, was different. The meeting was not expected to produce any tangible results, but at least there was an agreement on both sides that they should not let disagreements and scandals completely overshadow whatever progress the two countries can actually make. And one area where the two countries can make a difference is the crisis in Syria. Both state the same objective, that they want a political solution, that they want to bring all sides of the Syrian conflict together in Geneva to try and map out a political solution. The opposition, the Syrian opposition, says that they're not going to sit down at one table with those who have blood on their hands. Moscow says in order to stop the bloodshed, all hands need to come to the negotiating table. Foreign Minister Lavrov just said that Secretary Kerry assured him that Washington is going to do everything possible to have the opposition at that negotiating table, so we don't know what's going to happen there. So there were some very serious issues on the agenda, like Syria, like missile defense in Europe, where Russia and the U.S. obviously don't see eye to eye. But making progress on any of those topics becomes that much harder when the relations are defined by scandals. And today we heard Foreign Minister Lavrov trying very hard to ease the tension, to move it away from the Cold War talk. But President Obama, it seems he has done the opposite. He has hyped up the tension. Back to you, Erin.
That was RT's Gayane Chichakyan reporting from the newsroom.